Just posting it up right now.
Okay. So we got another edition of the Down and Back Live. And this week we've got the guys from the Doghouse Dogcast, which is the voice. Donnie is right. Where is he? He's right there.
Hello,
and,
friends.
We had Brendan here, but he just all of a sudden disappeared. And then down below we've got Dane from the Big Ass Podcast. Sean will be joining us momentarily. He's got other duties at home that he has to take care of.
He said
baby duties.
duties.
So we'll go to Donnie. We'll go to you first. So your podcast, because I know when I started mine back in, October, we got Brendan coming back in now.
All right, sorry guys.
So for I guess it's for Donnie and Brendan then. When you guys started your podcast, I'm not sure if you guys were like me, but it was like the only person that was talking back in October was Trey. So
yep.
How did you guys come to start your podcast up?
B, I'll let you start.
Yeah, so I think that basically what happened was I drive to New York for work a lot, and or not a lot, but a fair amount, and I listen to podcasts. I'm like a big podcast guy, and so I was looking for just something to listen to, like on the way down there. Obviously, like I get so obsessed with things, I was just like diving into any content, and the only thing that was online was Frank Gears and his ACO podcast, Taco. And so I went through every one of those, and I thought they were really they were entertaining for me. But the thing that was I was feeling lacking was that I was I would love to listen to a podcast where it was about everything and anything that was to do with cornhole, not just a league, every league, or have people on from different leagues. So that's how the idea came up. And I said, I told my wife I want to start it. And then Donnie, you could take over from there, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm a cornhole degenerate. I usually play about 4 or 5 nights a week. And I travel all over kind of New England playing from, 10 minutes from my house to an hour from my house, hour and a half from my house, all the way up to South Portland. And I met a bunch of people through that, and then met Brendan. And if you don't know who I am or you don't know what I do a lot of videos online through Facebook Live, usually of me after a couple 2, 3, 7 adult beverages, and I go live and just start talking. And it's usually about what's going on at that night, kind of pumping up who it was, and started playing with Brendan maybe about a year and a half ago, B?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brendan had the idea to start a podcast, and he's like, listen, you like to talk. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to hear my voice. So, we decided to just go for it. And
yeah, so Donnie came over one afternoon, and I had all this equipment because I played music, and so I had all the recording stuff. I said, we could come up with show ideas. Donnie's like, just turn it on, dude. He's like, let's just talk about it. And honestly, that's how we started. And then every show since, the Asp guys, I think, are always a little bit more prepared for their shows than I am for mine. I'm like, Donnie, what do you want to talk about? And they're crack a beer, and then next thing you know, 45 minutes.
That's 100% Sean. I can't take credit for that. All right? He's the planner. All right. I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, we're more tin cup. Just grip it and rip it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's how I live my life.
So is that how you guys got your start then as well, Dean?
Yeah, I mean, my brother kept talking about how he wanted to do a podcast for physical therapy, and we basically stumbled across the Dogcast. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree that he wants to do a professional one, but he stumbled across the Dogcast, sent it over to me. We both loved your guys' show right off the rip, and then we came across your show, Doug, and stars kind of aligned, and he was like, hey, I'm getting this equipment anyways, you want to just try a cornhole podcast? We're in Cleveland, knew there's a huge following out here, so we're like, why not? Let's see what happens. Our first couple episodes, we weren't nearly as prepared as we are now, but ever since then, we've kind of taken off. It's been fun.
It's funny, and that's kind of the same reason, almost in a way. I wanted to do a podcast for work too. I own a recruiting company, and I was wanted to do that. And then I was like, well, this would be a good practice for for that, and then I didn't imagine that like I'd like it as much as I did like it. Look who's here.
You can't use your passion.
Dude,
Yeah,
one's upside down, one's sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun to talk about like cornhole than it is to talk about like executive recruiting or physical therapy or like
Hey, speak for yourself, asshole.
Yeah. Dude, you know what I did when he told me he wanted to start
anything.
physical therapy podcast? I went like this.
Yeah, that's why it hasn't happened yet.
Now let's talk about tape when you're taking the elbow.
Yes.
I need you in my life.
Yeah.
Much
Now,
more.
did you guys think it would take off as easy as it is? Because I know for myself, when I started this out, I talked to Matt from Octane, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And we were gonna do just like a KW league, like our league here, and do like a 5 to 10 minute weekly, bi-weekly kind of how our league went. And all of a sudden, it's like I'm struggling to keep it under half an hour just talking myself. So I know it's got to be a lot easier for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for us, like I think that the thing that surprised me was how much I enjoyed doing it. You know what I mean? Like getting together. First of all, like I love hanging out with Donnie, so that's just easy anyways. It's like a nice
Who doesn't?
nice break to my week, And like honestly, there's been a couple days when like I've had the worst stressful day at work. Donnie walks in, 'cause we do it in my office, and like I feel great after doing it. So I mean, I think that like I think that part of the reason anything takes off or people get interested in why I wouldn't call it taking off. I mean, there's like there's some people that are degenerates that also listen to us. But I think that like if you like what you're talking about and you're really into it, that comes through, and then people also feel like, oh, I also think that like it helps that of the four of us. Now I know that the Ass Brothers will debate this till like I could sit here
Go
till
ahead
Christmas,
and say it.
but nobody on this feed is like a professional level player, right?
Not yet.
Everybody
Son.
here is
Not yet.
capable of being very good, takes the game very seriously, but at the same time, like we're all regular guys who have those worst nights, and it's like people relate to that. I think
Yeah, but we're also finding out the majority of those pros out there, they're just normal guys too.
For sure.
Oh, exactly. So then, I got one question here. Just I know where I can find you guys. So where can they find your podcasts on any of the platforms?
I mean, yeah, all the major platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much everything. I know we're on. The only thing we're not on is SoundCloud. But yeah, we're on. I know for us, we're on everything.
I wish I wasn't on SoundCloud, but that's where we host it. So every week I get like an email from them being like, "We think we're still in business." Just letting you know. Yeah, same thing. Apple, Spotify. I think I listen to it on Spotify when I do listen to it, and I listen to Asp on Spotify as well. So, but obviously, we also like to give Apple their shine too.
For sure.
Yeah, don't worry, Donnie. I listen to all my shit on Apple.
Hey, I work for a fruit company.
Yeah, exactly. We have to keep on the deal.
I mean, just to touch back on what your question was before, I mean, at least for us, we even said on our first episode, we joked, we didn't think anybody was going to listen to this. I mean, we were really just doing it because I wanted to try doing something like this, and we were big fans of the Dogcast before, we ever did our show. You know what I mean? And they kind of like paved the way. And then they were cool enough, like, I think it was like our second or episode in, they shouted us out and, it helped us out tremendously. So,
yeah, I think we all just like content. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, look, obviously it's costly. Like Sean and I always joke, whenever Sean and I talk, this literally costs us money to do. Like,
yes, correct.
We don't get anything from it other than the fact that.
That's why I'm wearing a hat right now. Okay, so if you're interested.
Yeah. Come to buy some hats. Let's go.
I do my own haircut.
Yeah. By the way, like I feel like look at this. My hair's falling out. This is like we're in the pandemic here. What are you gonna do? But I feel like like I was just saying, like, and like Sean had said too. Like every week I look forward to the Big Asp or whatever's going to be released, just because I want to listen. Obviously, I don't want to listen to myself. I know what I said. I like to hear like other takes on stuff. You know what I mean? And I like to hear like a couple weeks ago we had this conversation and Sean and I were saying they came up. Donnie, what was the Sean? What was the thing you guys had where it was like
If breaking up with your cornhole partner.
I was like, how did I not think of this? This is a great subject to talk about. Like, this is awesome because that is a big problem that people have.
For sure.
And then
I've broken up with a lot of them.
guys, listen.
Scotty, I feel like they broke up with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I am the mayor of Suckville right now when it comes to cornhole.
You can't even say cornhole anymore. That's
Yeah,
how bad it is.
that's how bad it is.
But I think we all like the content, so it's like whenever, like we came up with this thing this week, like drunk stories, because this is nothing to talk about right now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what
I
are you
love
gonna
this
talk about?
stuff.
Like, so it's
Great
like,
segment.
You can only
Drunk
talk about
story.
girls cornhole so much, you know what I mean? And then they're all tuning you out, and yeah, it's hard, man.
Yeah, and I
Next week we're gonna talk about how the colors on the bag matter.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I've talked to Go Pros where they're like, I'm only having this color on my bags. If you give me bags of this color, then I'll use them all the time. It's like,
I wouldn't
Really?
send them bags then, personally.
so
Right.
yeah.
I only use bags with my face on them.
Yeah, we know.
trash
We know.
bags.
It's astounding how many of those bags you have, Donnie.
Yeah, see, my problem is that my partner and I are like we've been together now for almost 3 years, and we were friends way before any cornhole started, right? So we everyone's trying to break us up because he's like one of the top players in our league, and I'm one of the bottom, and everyone's like, you guys shouldn't be partners together, and it's like, we're just here for fun in our league nights. It doesn't really matter, but they're like,
I mean, look, like the guy I play with all the time. Actually, grew up with him. He's the best. He's one of the best players in our league. This guy, Pat McCracken. He's actually like kind of part of the Dogcast crew. Basically, does all our hats. And I say to him sometimes, like, dude, you should be playing. You sometimes like I have slumps. I'm like, you should play somebody better. You know what I mean? Like, it is an interesting dynamic because you don't want to feel like you're holding somebody back. Not to steal a segment from the Asp show, but you don't want to feel like, oh. That's why I said I'm envious of Dane and Sean because it's like they're stuck with each other. They got
There we are.
I don't know. I
Billy
think
bails
one of
on me
them put
for
some
his new
contracts
child.
out there.
So Donnie.
so with how your podcasts go, I'd be remiss not to ask you just what performance enhancing beverages you are having tonight.
Donnie, go ahead.
Light?
Miller
Ooh,
Lite.
down East Coast. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Brewdog.
This is as we were talking before. This is a little bit of cranberry juice inside of a vodka laced glass. A bar near us called Doghouse. So shout out to them, Doghouse in Woburn. Great place. Once we could eat at restaurants again.
I'm gonna be that extra bitch right now because I did a little bourbon and Sprite, but then I threw some elderberry bitters in there, and I dropped a flaming orange peel into it. It's fantastic.
So fancy.
Guys, I'm so bored. I'm so
Did you see
bored.
his
What else is
pinky?
there
That's
to
so
do?
bougie, man, like every time.
Oh, bougie.
But you know what? It's
I,
bougie, but it's delicious.
I'm just doing the Bud
Bloody
Light.
Mary says it all.
Can I just apologize to everyone out there for that?
Wait a minute.
Like, that's not us. That is
The
not
guy
us.
from Canada is drinking a Bud Light.
Yeah, I'm just doing the Bud Light, and
I
then
thought
the
you
other
had
thing I
to
got
drink Molson only.
is the only thing I got out of Cleveland was I had to grab some Old Smoky moonshine.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Moonshine.
While I was down
That's
there.
fantastic.
Oh, I had
I
that.
don't know if
I had that
It's
at
not
Bike
real
Week up in
moonshine, but it's
Laconia.
delicious.
Yeah, we were. I had that first time down in North Carolina in Charlotte at a NASCAR race, and then so when we were in Cherokee a couple years ago, 2018, for the ACL finals, we made the detour to Gatlinburg, to their to the distillery.
Yeah, they had a tent at the racetrack up here in New Hampshire at Loudon.
Yeah.
And anything goes well with motorcycles, it's moonshine.
Yes.
I know
Absolutely.
that it did not help my throwing in Cherokee in 2018 though, but
False. False.
for as much
Yeah.
as I tried.
I tell you what, I'm ready to maybe burn half my cornhole boards right now and protest them. By the way, I have new neighbors that I was gonna talk about this. I actually still will talk about the Dogcast, but I have these. I have where we live, we're like right north of Boston. Houses are pretty close to each other. Yards are kind of stacked, and this new couple just bought the house next to me. I was informed they have a 5-year-old daughter and a 2-month-old. And I'm like, I hope those kids don't like sleeping because my boys are like all day long in the summer. This guy's gonna hate my guts. Like if I'm not fist fighting him by the second week, I don't even think it's gonna be Like I can't see a better situation.
Brendan
No, I can tell you what's going to happen is the wife is going to come out. She's going to give the guy a hard time. Be like, honey, go talk to him. So he's going to come out there and be like, hey, man, you know how it is. You know what I mean? Like that's
I'm just gonna gas a beer right in his face.
Listen, Brendan lives in the world of vineyards, vines, and Volvos.
It's true. Donnie's right. Donnie's right. Everybody in my neighborhood is concerned with joining the country club. I'm like the black sheep of the whole place.
They all have Thule carriers on their car.
I got like 2 boards set up and just smashing beers all day. People
I know how
they
you
walk
feel.
by your house, they just shake their head. They're just like they're seeing Hearns.
And I got like a camera set up. Like, what is going on?
I know exactly how you feel. I've got a neighbor across the street, an elderly gentleman who trims his grass with a pair of scissors. He looks at my place and just shakes his head all the time, and I'm like,
dude,
sorry.
My house is like Sanford and Son out back. Like if you remember that show, like kids running around, half shirts on. It's just something else, you know. Hey, listen.
I'm pretty sure if I step outside, Sean could hear me scream right now.
Probably.
That's how close we live.
You gotta be you.
So back on the podcast, have you like Dana said earlier that all the pros are just great. Have you guys had that one guy who's like, yeah, no, I don't do podcast stuff without naming names? Because I know I've had one. I've asked the guy, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm not into that right now because I'm just not into it right now. I'm like,
it's funny.
Okay, sure.
We were actually texting back and forth yesterday about a guest. I'm not going to throw out names, obviously. No. But yes, there have been. Not necessarily, I guess. I don't know how to put it. A little condescending, I guess, in a way I would put it. It was almost like it was beneath him a little bit. But I really want to stress the fact that is such a minority. That is literally the only person I've dealt with. Everyone else has been awesome. We had Jay Corley on yesterday. It was not Jay Corley. He was phenomenal. Great interview. We had a blast with him off the mic. I mean, it was a great time. That's been 99.9% of everyone we've ever met in the sport. It's just only been one so far. That's
exactly. I think we may even be the same guy because his reputation on the boards preceded him in the conversation I had with him.
Okay.
With this guy, so I think it could be the same guy.
Well, I think the biggest thing with the pros is they, listen, we've talked about this a lot. They're marketing themselves, right? They need a bigger social media presence. So they need outlets to be able to talk about it because most of their businesses are small businesses in their area. So they need to be able to hit a larger audience to be able to promote who they are and maybe, kind of go up a level for their the different sponsors and stuff like that. So, honestly, 99.9% of them are more than willing. The hardest part is scheduling, right? Trying to get them on at the right time, and that works into their schedule and our schedule, especially in this day and age where we're all in different places.
Yeah.
So that makes it, way more complex.
Yeah, let me ask you guys a question real quick. So, obviously, I think right now the cornhole community in general, social media-wise, is probably the biggest on Facebook, which I find hilarious because it's like the cornhole community is so far behind because the rest of the world is on Instagram and Twitter and everything else.
Yeah.
So I found it's crazy how big the following is on Facebook versus the other social media stuff. I just find it really odd that you don't see more pros out on the other social medias trying to promote stuff because really you see the same ones. You see Jay Corley all the time. You see Drew Brown. Ryan Smith will post something here or there on Twitter, but he doesn't really do that. But besides that, there's really not that many.
Yeah, I gotta say, Jake Corley is the person who gets it the most. I don't know him. I mean, I've had interactions with him. I bought a sweatshirt. He seems like an unbelievable guy, but he gets it. He understands it. I was telling, we had a guest recently, and after I got off the interview, I was like, hey, listen, I'm like, what we're trying to do is obviously we're doing this because we have fun, but I'm like, you can use this as leverage with your sponsors. Like, hey, we go on this show once every 3 months. Tell them that. I don't care. I'll say we help you get sponsors, and then you get to talk about who your sponsors are on the show, right? That's you help us, we help you. I honestly think, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's definitely, I don't do this because I think that at some point, oh shit, all of a sudden I'm making, $80,000 a year off my cornhole podcast. That's never happening. You know what I mean?
My wife would never let me think that, anyways.
The goal is like the goal is like a more of a karma thing, I think. You know what I mean? More of like a hey, like listen, let me help you, you help me, and like that's the thing. Going back to the whole just league night, right? League night is like the microcosm of everything that this is, right? League night, you walk in, there's a plumber, there's a accountant, there's a guy who does decks, there's a carpenter.
There's Donnie.
Tell you like that, like
That's pretty special.
The fruit salesman.
Fruit salesman. There's guys in your league that will literally hook you up with certain things or put you in the right direction. Like that where you have an issue, you're like, listen, who do I call? And they're like, this guy you can trust. He'll like, it's a very like everyman's. It's almost like here's what I compare it to. It's like can I say any like okay like borderline swear words?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's like a really.
Oh, I didn't even ask, but we should have checked with that first.
You've been swearing the whole time, Brennan.
I have to really filter myself.
That was not in the syllabus.
It's like. It's like a really shitty version of the Masons, right? Like that's what a cornhole club is. It's like a bunch of adults together, men usually, who are like trying to help each other out. What?
I'm a Mason and a Shriner.
Friggin' over here. Guy's like he's like with Nicolas Cage over there trying to like solve the pyramid.
That movie is based on fiction, Donnie.
It is.
Yeah, I was gonna say like with Jay Corley, he's been on the show a bunch of times here now with me, and he's like, I'm gonna come on anytime you want. I said, well, I got a guest coming up. And he's like, you know what? I want to come on and ask him a question because he's helped me up along the way, and and it's just like I always tell a story of Timothy Pitcher. First time I met him, I didn't know him from the wall. And we sat and had like a half-hour conversation on a balcony back in North Carolina at the ACL finals. I didn't even know him, but he just sat and talked. And it's like they almost go and they want to help you out with your throw or whatever. It's almost it's like let's go play, have a beer.
I mean, what it comes down to, though, is that I think they all realize that how simple of a game it sounds like. I mean, when it comes down to it, we're throwing a bag at a board. You know what I mean? So, like, even if you're the best in the world, and I love it, and I think you're awesome, like, you're still throwing a bag at a board. You know what I mean? Like, so let's not get too high and mighty. And I think that's, like, so many of the pros, like, understand that. And I think they almost consider themselves lucky that, that they have something that they first, enjoy doing, and then they happen to be really good at it, and they can make some money off it on the side. But so we'll see. I mean, I think that there are a lot of pros though that are not capitalizing, like especially like Jay is.
Well, the thing with it is too is like this game right now, it is not a money making proposition. I don't care if you're a big board maker, big bag maker, whoever you are.
You gotta pay to be a pro.
But you got to pay. So literally, it's it comes down to brand image, and it comes down to your name becomes your brand. Whether you're the guy that makes it to ESPN or you're the guy that's 40th, it doesn't matter. Your name is your brand. That is what's going to get you out there, and it's about taking care of the people around you because one great story might meet 5 or 6 people. One bad story meets 20, 30, 40 people, right?
Yes.
Especially in this community where it goes around even faster.
Yeah.
Oh, Donnie, everybody knows you're such a diva that it's hard for me to get anywhere in the show anymore.
Listen, I'm pretty special.
But here's the thing. Jay Corley, his mindset, I think, is exactly the mindset that I had when we started the show, which is like, all right, nobody else is doing this.
Yep.
Nobody else in the market. Jay Corley I've watched him. He's excellent. Obviously, he's a lights out player, right? But, like, he's got 2 things that most people don't have. He's got the first thing he can play. The second part is he's a hot shit. He's funny. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He gets it. He knows what people want. So it's like, there's a lot of people out there. This is my frustrating thing with pro, and I don't know how the ACO does it. I just know, and I've always been known to speak freely, but I don't know. Like, you have to take people, if you're going to expect them to get sponsors, you have to say to them, this is the game plan. You set up your Facebook page. You tell them, I'm going to be on these podcasts. You point them there. You pimp their stuff for them, right? Like these guys do with their bar, right? What's the PJ?
PJ McIntyre's.
PJ McIntyre's. Like they're like
Best bar in Cleveland.
I'm telling you right now. If when I go back to Cleveland, the first place I'm going is there because these guys talk about it like they love it. It's obvious they do.
We do.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the sponsor needs. A sponsor needs you to emphatically talk about what they're doing. Like we work with West Georgia, right? And we talk about, I really believe in what they do. I believe they're really good people. Like in that, and we've helped them, push a lot of product through our show, and it's a mutually great beneficial relationship for both of us. But I think that but most people, what I'm saying is their minds don't work that way. They're a construction superintendent. They're not a marketing person. They didn't go to college for marketing. They don't get that. So like the organization, whatever professional organization, it's on them to be like, hey, listen, this is
100%.
That's what they do.
I was gonna say, so like,
got to get them in classes.
Let's say
and
I'm
stuff.
the owner of Reynolds, right? So let's say I'm Jeff Reynolds. He sponsors. I mean, how many pro players in the league, right? How many of them have you ever seen them really promoting Reynolds brand on Facebook?
No.
Nothing. You never see it. Shit,
Never.
we've promoted Reynolds more than any other pros have.
I think both of us.
Yeah, Reynolds pays out.
So it's like
for
I completely
performance
agree.
only.
That needs to be a stipulation when these companies. I mean, how many sponsors do some of these players have outside of like Jay Corley? That you throw them on the back of a jersey. Who gives a fuck? I mean, there's 8 people a year that are making it on ESPN.
Yeah.
So you're just slapping on the jersey. You're giving the guy $1,000. Like,
here's the thing,
they have
though.
a responsibility to promote. Like, I just feel like that's the part that's missing.
I'm going to bring it back to NASCAR. Like NASCAR, you look at the side of a NASCAR. There's 1,000 stickers on the side of that car.
Is that why? That's why he shaved his head. He's got so much room. Marketing. I mean, that's
I'm going to start marketing.
But
you
I'll pay for
look
the tattoo on the left side of your head.
If you've ever gone to a NASCAR race, you look at it. There's 1,000 sponsors, and they take 40 or 50 pictures where they switch the hats every single time for each individual sponsor. But those guys are trained in the beginning to talk with keywords and phrases for each sponsor, right? Here's your talking points. And if you forget, the hat's on your head. Just look at it, right? Move forward. And that's where I think the sport is missing. Listen, I think we're so focused on the Olympics right now that we're missing the bigger picture.
Yeah.
The bigger picture is about that place that supports you every single day. Look at what's going on in the world today.
Mm-hmm.
Like COVID-19 is killing. They're saying 40 to 60% of small business will not be here by the end of this. And this is both like Canada, US, where around the world. Like, support that small business. Your kid's Little League team will not be here next year if you don't support the businesses around you.
Tito's. I supported them tonight.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're just a giver.
You're a giver, but they're from
That's all
Texas.
you are.
But support those people. Like, we need to take care of each other because even though, like, West Georgia is not anywhere near us, it's a huge drive for us. The whole, like, Reynolds is a 10-hour drive for us. But we support a lot of these smaller companies because they're who we are. They're part of our community.
Correct.
And local sometimes becomes the definition and not who we are.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I agree.
See, that's where we're going with our conference here within the ACL is you guys have all your small conferences. They've given us the Canada conference. So we're like all provinces, territories in one conference. And it's like,
even out in Banff?
Yeah, that's all our conference. Right. So it's like, it's, everyone's complaining that, for some of the conferences in the States, we got a 10-hour drive. Well, there's some people that have like a 4-hour flight, 5-hour flight to get to any conference event we have, or we have to take that time to go out and do a thing. But speaking of people, I got two watchers here. Bent, who's from the Philadelphia area, who started watching last week. He was planning, I think, on going to the Philadelphia National if it still happens. And then Mark Taft, who's from the Trenton area, Belleville area in Ontario here, and he's actually offered to be my roadie for when I go to any other tournaments. So,
I love Toronto.
There you go.
Nice.
so,
I got some friends that live in Whitby.
Do we see this hat, by the way?
I do.
I see it.
Oh,
I
who
see
would
it.
wear
Looks
that
good.
hat?
I would have to run upstairs to get mine. I'm sorry, I didn't plan it.
That's all right. That's all right. I come prepared, unlike you. That's how I operate.
so just going back to Jay Crowley for a bit. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but this week he put out his own set of boards, his own Jay
Yes.
Crowley boards that he now has made up. And it's like you said, he gets it because he has all the gear you want to buy, plus bags and now boards.
Well, but the hard part for you guys is let's look at like just Canada. They're going to make it one conference. That's hard. I went to Banff a couple of years ago, and we flew into Calgary, and I think it was a minimum 2-hour bus ride north just to get into Banff National Park. So that's tough for everybody to kind of get where they need to go. Like we went and hung out with we went to Cleveland. That's a 10-hour drive from where we are in Boston.
Yeah.
Or
On your motorcycle, you can make it an 8.
I could, but she would be very hot by the time we get out there. But it's hard for, like, if you're going to run a regional, you're going to run a conference, that's hard for people to, make it across. Even for us for me to get to Toronto, it's a 10-hour drive because I can cut up through Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Montreal is only 5.5 hours away, though I've never been there.
Actually,
speak French?
Back in February, PJ Sorrow from your area.
Who?
PJ Sorrow. So he drove overnight and then played in a tournament up here, and then went back home the next day.
He'll tell you about it. Here's your guy. Emperor too, right?
Yeah.
Mike Ferrer?
I can't say anything. He's an Octane player, so I can't really say too bad.
PJ's a friend of ours. I poke
Yeah.
fun of him. He's a fun guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And Mike Ferrer was there too, right? Emperor?
Yeah, they learned that actually here in KW, we have what's called over the limit. So if you go to the bar, you have too much, and you drove there, you call them for $5 more. They will drive your car home for you with the cab.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
That
I
is
need to bring like
fantastic.
$20.
Yeah.
Dude, I need that.
We'll bring that back to
Hey,
back to your area.
will they walk me back upstairs after this is over? From my basement?
Well, wait a minute, Brendan. You did get lost on an escalator in
True.
Cleveland.
Yeah. Listen, I like to enjoy myself. That's been well documented.
And you did wake up beside me.
Listen, it was the closest to the bathroom, Donnie. Gotta tell you. Yeah. So let me ask you this, Doug. How have you found it? Like you? It sounds like you enjoy doing it. Obviously, you wouldn't keep doing it, right?
Yeah. It's I actually almost have more fun doing this now than I do playing sometimes.
I would agree.
Because it's actually, and my wife will complain about it all the time. She's like, it just takes up all of your time where I'm talking to people who come to the show or just whatever. So, it's like, yeah, I just, before I came down to do the show here, she's like, the show is like you're the other woman. I was like, well, if it's
That's why
At least she doesn't have.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
But
Better than
it's
You're not
it's-
cheating. I was gonna say at least we don't have boobs, but I'd be lying.
I do too.
But
I don't have them yet.
but no, it's just
They're coming.
You're meeting other new people all the time, and it's just it's fun just to get together and talk cornhole, especially
It is.
now because there's really nothing else to do.
Well, so we talked about this like early on in the podcast, I think, where I think that like what happens with cornhole people and the reason that women, not women, I shouldn't say it. The reason spouses somehow have some type of problem kind of understanding is that we go through this period in our lives, right? We grow up, we play Little League, we play whatever. We do all these things, right? We meet new people. We go to college, we meet all these new people, right? It's like you have this bond with these people. And then all of a sudden, you grow up and it's like, oh, I got a job. This is my fucking life now? Like I just go to this place and punch these keys and then come home and I look like – so then you go to cornhole and you're like, oh, here's some people I get along with. We all like each other. And you get that feeling of like a tribe, like that like kinship again. And that is impossible to explain to somebody without them being like, you're a loser. Like, right? That's impossible, right? So but that's my take on it. That's what I think. I think that I get it.
Yeah.
I can't talk too loud right now. You know?
So I have a question for Doug.
Yeah.
So Doug, we both podcasts, based on our weather conditions, have board conditions will change from the beginning of the tournament to the end. So you're kind of on that same kind of plane as we are. So what do you guys do to kind of change it a little bit based on what happens during a tournament, whether it's inside, outside? Do you change your bags or what happens?
Yeah. So we're all of our tournaments are inside. And before I get to it, I've got one guy in the chat. I'm not sure if you guys can see the chat, but we got Bill Macario. I probably butchered his name there, but he's like saying, "Damn, all my boys in one spot." So obviously he's been
that's Billy. That's Beefy.
Billy.
Yeah, Beefy.
Yeah, just sent him some. I just sent him some hats and shirts out today, actually.
So I went on a vacation with the kids and went and met Beefy and hung out with him.
Donnie, you are a hero. You are a hero to many.
I have a hard time taking you seriously though with the new look. I mean,
listen,
it's just.
I think I might do it too.
You're all gonna do it by the end.
Donnie, all of a sudden, I really want to know where the bodies are now. Like, yes.
I don't hide the bodies at home.
By the way,
looking a little suspect.
Doug, the only thing that saves my tail a little bit with this whole thing is that my wife has met Donnie and thinks he's very funny. So she's like, all right, it's Donnie, whatever. It's fine.
I'm heartless.
But I will say this. So the week before, talk about taking up your time, we did this Battle of the Big Mouths thing where we all played and we had an absolute blast. Took a lot of coordination, right? Yeah. Yep. Took a lot of coordination. These two won.
No, one of them won. The other one sucked.
I love how you corrected him. You're like, well, I won. Actually, like I won. But that was like all week. We were on the phone at night, like, hey, I was talking to Jersey guy, talking to Sean, and my wife was like, you really are taking a lot of your time with this. Like she was throwing just dropping the arrow right on me. So, and it does take a lot of time, and that's the one thing for people out there to know. I think that not that don't here's the smallest fiddle in the world playing for us, but it is a lot of time, especially for just taking time away from your family, just like anything else. You know what I mean? Because we probably don't play, especially now. You're not playing much, right? Mm-hmm. But at most, I'm playing one night a week, like you guys, like league night.
Mm-hmm.
I play the least. I guarantee you, out of everybody on this, well, maybe not Doug. I don't know. But definitely Donnie. I play by far the least. If I get one weekend event a month, I'm so lucky.
I'm the same way. I'm the same exactly.
Because my kids are all playing sports. I'm coaching 3 sports. I have to try to get it out. But Donnie's 5-6 events a month.
Yeah, I'm the same way because I know Canadian is going to seem cliche, but I work in a hockey rink myself. So I only get to play every other week.
Yes.
Right? So I would have the chance to play Monday through Thursday if I wanted to, but it's I got our league night Monday night, and then I got hockey Tuesday. I got hockey with my kid Wednesday. I play hockey myself Thursday. So there goes my week, right?
But it's right now. 3 years ago, I played basketball Mondays and Wednesdays. I played Friday mornings and Sundays. I was 193 pounds. And my life is so much better now that I'm 217.
I wanted to go back to your point, Brennan, about taking all of your time. What you didn't tell the people listening was the 20 minutes that we actually talk business on those calls is not what takes all the time away. It's the 2 hours afterwards that we just sit there and BS the whole time.
Yeah,
it takes away time for the family.
I get that as well too. She's like, you were done an hour ago or 2 hours ago. I had the Octane guys on here a couple weeks ago. So I had PJ, I had Mike Ferreira, Bobby Speary, and Matt was on. And the show went from we're supposed to be 7 to 8. Matt had his duties like Sean had. And so Matt showed up an hour late. And we ended up going 2 hours. And then so she went to 8:45. And then we sat and talked till 12:30. And it was just, and I got your show was done at 8 o'clock, 4 hours ago. We were just sitting talking cornhole. We were just
it's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Telling Matt what kind of gear we want to have out, what kind of shirts, shorts.
By the way, I have to say this because I think I came off like I was giving PJ a hard time earlier. I will say that like from the time I met PJ, now, the time I met PJ now, PJ's like he's a tough guy to play against. He's gotten really good, like comparatively with like when I used to play with him originally, like I would be beating him up, and now I don't know if I can do that anymore. I mean, I know I can, but he beat me up. He plays a lot. He gets a lot around.
We had a guy here when he came up here. We had a guy that started kind of talking a bit of trash to him, and PJ was like, "Fine, let's go." And then PJ beat him 21-0, and the guy he actually left the tournament. He didn't even come back. He was just gone.
Now to be seen again. There you go.
There it is. There it is.
The glove. I'm all in on Michael Jackson for cornhole, by the way. All in.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Dane was a big fan of the glove. He made fun of me when I first got it. But you
guys been watching my live feeds? I wear it every time.
Oh my god. I mean, I guess I can't. I shouldn't be. I mean, wear whatever makes you play better. I guess I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
correct.
Hey, I mean that glove helped me win Battle of the Big Mouths. Thanks, Gladiator Cornhole, for the glove. You know.
Eric Ryder's from Massachusetts, by the way.
That's true.
That's good for him. My whole family's from Massachusetts. I don't know.
Yeah, these guys are
from Cleveland now.
Basically.
They're Massachusetts twice removed.
Pretty much.
By the way, I just want to make a point that due to this COVID situation where I'm at home like half the day, I'm throwing in the wind constantly. I get so frustrated. My shoulder is literally just a pile of junk. Like it feels like I don't know. I actually need an offline consultation with Sean.
I'll give you a reasonable rate. All right, like
like $3.
It only charges like $160 a minute.
But like I can't help myself. I keep going out there. I'm like, I'm done. I texted Pat McCracken. I'm like, hey, if you see me throw a bag on Facebook again for 3 days, I owe you $500. 2 hours later, I'm throwing it, and he's like, I know I'm never getting that money, but he's like, I expect it.
Hey, so one of the now that you're talking about the weather and stuff, the episode we just released today, we talked a lot about Ghost Cornhole. Obviously, there's nothing else to fucking talk about. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that or not. And then the fact that it seems crazy unfair that people that you're playing against in these paid tournaments are playing inside, and I have to play outside. Like, what do you think about that, though?
Junk.
Yeah.
We're doing a tournament up here.
Separation between indoor and outdoor tournaments.
We're doing a tournament up here right now, and I know John Clark's watching this, so I'm gonna call him out in a second.
It was his,
he's a little chippy right now.
We're in the final four. Yeah, you know what, dude? Do me a favor, Clark. Like, go run a fishing boat or whatever you do. We're in the final four. We're playing Clark's team. Clark threw a 101 deck around. His teams, and I threw junk. I threw 71. McCracken threw 71, whatever. But one of his guys right now is currently going live on Facebook in a parking garage. Lefty, who you guys met, I think.
Is he on the Scotty Moe team?
Yeah.
That's horseshit.
So it begs the question. It's like, so the league that we're all in, right? I'm in the same league with Sean and Dane that we're doing the online. It's like, dude, I don't have an indoor place to play, so
yeah.
I actually do. I can actually throw. Nobody's on my floor at work, so I can actually throw in my work But I'm not going to do that. Like,
you have a creepy elevator.
Yeah, I'm a man. I have like a reputation that is really bad that I have to live up to. So
yes. Well, going back to our Ghost League, that guy posted his results today, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, he's so good." I went and checked. I'm like, guarantee this motherfucker threw inside, and sure enough, he's in this like pristine warehouse with perfect conditions. I'm like, motherfucker, put me inside on that. I guarantee you, I can beat Ghost 8 too.
By the way,
but you tried going against Gale Force winds out here.
By the way, Ben Coombs, the glove is legal.
Yeah, because
it is legal.
I was getting text from him saying, "Answer my question." So that is my cousin who helps me mod the chat here. But speaking, we had 2 tournaments for our league here, and we're like, you have to play outside. So as I said, with our conference being, I'm just trying to find the picture here. With our conference being so wide, being all of Canada, we had a guy in Newfoundland. That
He's a
that he was
newfie.
like, pardon?
He's a newfie.
Yes. And he was like, I can't throw outside. And we were like, well, what do you mean? Well, I knew what he meant, but I just can't seem to find the picture here now. But he still had like 5-6 feet of snow in his backyard.
Well, they get the worst of our weather. So,
Yeah.
like, whatever doesn't hit us in New England
Yeah.
shoots up to him and just swirls around up there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he'll get, like, the wind and the snow and the rain. And, I mean, it just kills them because they're not that far from us. They're only a couple hours away, but they get brutalized this time of year.
By the way, I was just informed by John Clark that he just said fourth place isn't bad. I think there are like 22 teams, so apparently Lefty throwing in the garage. Lefty's lucky he's like one of my favorite people in the world because I can never be mad at him. We did late night. We did at what was it, Mohegan? Johnny was the
That was the big one, yeah.
Me and Lefty and Evander, who was his eternal partner, we did late night Johnny Rockets. And I went, he's like, got ranch with the fries, I remember? I go, ranch with fries? And Evander goes, what kind of fat kid are you? Like, you don't know.
I just have to say, the whole reason we lost in Cleveland was because of Lefty. Because you blacked out.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure whether I should bring that game up or not. I was I know myself. I had talked with Sean. I was hoping to be able to get there, but they were talking about closing the border, so we had to haul it home.
Closing the borders. Meanwhile, like my eyes are closing at like.
Listen, here's the thing. Big ass. They cheated. One of them stayed home long enough till both of us were drunk.
Here's what I'll say. The better team won. All right.
What?
Better team won that day. That's a fact. I'll just give it to you straight. What do you want me to do? Lie? Make things up?
I survived a scooter ride, hammered.
Look at this.
Cleveland.
I gotta move because this kid's waiting to play Xbox. Hold on.
You gotta move.
I drove a scooter
man
through
right there.
Cleveland with a 30 rack between my legs.
Donnie. By the way, me and Dane, I was trying to get through that parking garage that day. Like, that was like.
I have never had such a hard time navigating a parking garage in my life.
Let's hope the people working on the vaccine are a lot smarter than us. We can't even get into a parking garage. So.
Dude, you two were gone for like 45 minutes trying to get two boards.
Yeah, and then I told you guys the next day.
I
Yeah,
bring
the next
230
day was 2
racks there,
seconds.
and then somebody else was charging for the beer that I brought.
I made like $22.
I was gonna say,
I know,
so
people
when
kept saying, like, hey, what if I threw
there's
down a
beer over
10
there,
and
you know,
grab
I
some
think
of
it's
these
only
beers?
$2 a beer. I'm like, I brought it. You can just take one. They're like, oh, the
Yeah,
guy over there
something.
told me it was $2.
Hey, I had to make my flight home.
Hey, you're all good. You're all good.
Yeah, I was really hoping to make that game, just because like I told Sean before that we had just bought some new lapel mics for me to do some shows down there, and I was like, we could mic you guys up for the games and really have some fun with it.
Oh, that would
blow
have
mics up.
been bad news. If
Yeah.
mic'd
Yeah,
up for
I
that
mean, you
game,
could,
that would've
if
been
you listen to
bad
the
news.
two feeds, you could hear the banter a little bit. There was
Yeah.
a lot of missed things out there, though, because I promise you, there was a lot of shit talking going on during those games.
Well, and
Well,
then
the biggest
besides
thing
the fact that Donnie wanted to take 10 minutes in between each throw to try to.
But the big thing is, like, as a community, you know, if we can all band together and like stay together during this time, we don't need the big organizations. We can like put this stuff together ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We can make this stuff happen. We made Battle of the Big Mouths happen. We can make other stuff happen. So we can do our own kind of invitational stuff. So I got my passport. I can come to Canada. And those two almost live in Canada, so they can come up too.
Yes, it's short.
That's
for
true.
us.
Yeah, it's not that far.
What
I
day?
would
How
say
long
yeah,
did it take us to get there? 4
and-
hours.
It
It
depends
took
on
us
what part we're going.
about 6 hours to get to Cleveland.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, and we have been thinking about doing a tournament close to Windsor, just to kind of get some people from that area.
Now that's like 4 hours
Heck
for
yeah.
us. Like that's close.
Yeah, Windsor's that's an easy drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We can make it there with Brendan on the back of the bike holding on.
Oh my god, I want to
I
see
need a
that so
side
bad.
cut.
I
I need a
want to see
side
that
cut.
so bad. I really do.
I want a side cut.
I
Um,
can buy
see
a
that.
Ural.
I can just tell you that as I cross the threshold to get up here from the basement, outlook's not good for my confidence and
The tension is just palpable. Yeah. That's
You got
why I
that
stayed in
look.
the garage.
Mounting.
I just told my wife, I'm like, I'm just gonna go sit in the garage. She's like, seriously? I'm like, I just feel like it's a safe place.
that's a smart idea.
People might be able to hear screams if anything happened.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm in the man cave right now, so I'm good.
My wife already told me tension is mounting. I will not be mounting her.
yeah, I've been told as well too. I got to clear the spot in the garage and take the studio out to the garage. No more in the basement. So
Yeah, my wife digs me.
But I love the
Agreed.
wood paneling behind you, though. Like I've become so accustomed to seeing that.
I know.
behind you.
Yeah.
I
The
tried
guy
to make
locally
it.
called this is the Wayne's World of cornhole.
For sure. That's perfect. That's
But,
perfect.
Well, yeah, it's but for Brendan and Donnie, if you guys are once we can get going, because we've now got a league going in St. John's, Newfoundland. They want to have some big tournaments up there. So I think I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with any of that part of Canada, but it will be more drinking than cornhole being played if there's a tournament there.
That sounds
I've had
like
some
my kind of
family from
tournament.
there, and I
Yeah.
have extended family from there,
Okay.
from Newfoundland, and I think we can take the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it
great.
goes
By
out
the way, unbelievable music scene. Unbelievable music scene in Newfoundland, Canada.
So
Lots
yeah,
of
so we
great,
got
Celtic music and some really good stuff comes out of there. Great
yeah,
big
they
scene.
they were actually it was going pretty good there. They were actually getting like almost 40 people a night for their league that they'd started up there, and they went for maybe a couple months, and then all this happened and they had to shut down. But it was actually it was going really good up there.
Yeah, I mean, for a population of 100, I mean, that's impressive. I mean, crazy.
Oh, that was the big ass podcast, by the way.
That was the,
Really, we just don't
Yeah,
know our
that's
geography.
that was-
We
that
don't
you
know
just
our population
eliminated 2 listenerships right there. You could have got 3 people out of that.
You
Yeah.
could have got like 2 or 3 people, eh?
Eh? Oh.
Yeah,
No shit.
it was kind of funny to see. Just I didn't get a chance to see it in Cleveland just because, and I missed 2019, but just some of the people that when we were down there in 2018 in Cherokee, just kind of give us the kind of like, what are you guys doing here that you're here from Canada and that because we went into that World Cup that they'd first started that first year, and we had to have 16 people in it for each conference, and we went down with 6. Right, so our games were basically lost when we started.
Yeah.
But it's just then they weren't pros then, but all the top players were like they were accommodating. But you seen some of the lower levels that when we were playing, like I had a guy who, as I was throwing, I was just about to release the bag. He steps across the board and claps out of frustration for his shot. Apparently, a couple minutes before that, but it was like, just because you're gonna lose. To me, it was basically my partner that was really doing it in a blind draw. But just, we're kind of coming up there, but it's still that you guys shouldn't really even be here.
I honestly, I don't know. I mean, like, we're still kind of new into it to ourselves. You know what I mean? Like Brendan touched on it before. None of us are pro players, so
No.
I mean, I to me, until I see it play against anybody, everyone's on my level or better. I mean, the way I always look at it.
Yeah. Like
Well, the thing with it is, no matter which pro I'm playing, I'm still talking trash.
oh
I
yeah,
don't care who it is.
Oh yeah.
It's just gonna happen because that's my game. Like
Yeah.
the stall tactic and the trash talking, it's happening.
Some people have like the airmail and the slide. Donnie has other moves that don't have anything to do with
Yeah.
corn.
It's
I
nothing to
seriously
do
had
with
no-
not
I
about the
thought you were
game,
having-
it's the
I thought you
mental
passed
aspect.
out. Like, I didn't know what you were doing. Like, I thought you were either pissing your pants or you passed out. And then, like, I look back and you're just like dead stone cold killer just staring at me.
Well, here's the other thing we talk about a lot on the show, which I hate it. It drives me bananas when you get somebody who gets what they perceive as like who's a good player, who then gets what they perceive as a bad player, and pouts like they're my son if I told him he couldn't play Xbox tonight.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I'm not saying like don't be all whatever Shangri-La, Babylon, grow the game, but like just be a nice person. Like, how hard is it to be a nice person? Like everybody, like somebody said it one time, I can't remember who. Everybody wants to put it on the board and get it in the hole. Everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not, it's not because they didn't want to. It's because whatever's happening, you're not helping them by like stressing them out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
We talked about that on one of our episodes. I don't know, probably like a year ago. We were 6 months in. We started playing pretty well. We had just won our league. We went to a blind draw. I decided, hey, I'm throwing well. I'm going to step up. I'm going to go the advanced, right? So I get paired with somebody who thinks very highly of himself, right? Part of the best part was after that episode came out, everyone from Cleveland trying to guess who I was talking about.
I wasn't there.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But the guy was basically MFing me to his buddies, like saying, who is this guy? I got some shit D4 player, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't realize I was standing right behind him. So I just tapped him on the shoulder, and he's like, what's up? And I'm like, I'm that shit D4 player you're just talking crap about. He played so bad that first game. I fucking loved it. I loved every second of it, and I played pretty well. And I remember I went up to him because we had to play with his shitty bags, and he was playing with like piece of shit slide rates from like 1980 apparently. And I walked up to him afterwards, handed him the bag, and I'm like, I thought you were supposed to be a pro. I'm like, maybe you fucking suck. And I just walked away. Now from then on, I sucked. But that first game, I held my own, and he played like
that's all that matters.
I loved it.
And also,
and to this day, I won't. He's like the one guy in our league I can't stand. And every time I play him, I want to beat him. And just for the record, if you're watching this and you see this, you know who you are. And we kicked the shit out of you last time we played you.
Hey,
I never played in your league.
Every fucking second.
This has been brought to you by All Cornhole. This segment.
Yes.
Well, I got the name Corn Dog because I had a tendency for a while there to throw about 26 feet instead of 27. So it became known as the Corn Dog around here. And there may have been some times where I've intentionally thrown a corn dog every once in a while when I have that guy who's upset that he's got me as a partner. But it's just especially on a league night, if you're just playing for league points, we're just out there to have a few beers and have some fun.
I completely agree. And that's what makes me so mad. Like, especially like at league nights, we're all there to like get away. We're all there to have fun, do something we enjoy. That's what my favorite thing in the world is Monday nights. Mondays are my long day at work, but I know at the end of that day, I get to go to league night. I get to go see a bunch of people I like. I get to get to play. And then Tuesdays, we typically record our episodes. So it gives us a great start to the week. I can't compete with these guys, though.
Oh, it's a good thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
they're bringing out
Just pull out props.
The Doghouse guys have got their props. Are you going to have any big ass props?
By the way,
my prop's not that big.
I hate prop comments. So but I saw that sitting in the corner of the room. Doghouse saw it. All right.
I'm like looking around. I'm like, I don't think I have shit. I have like colored.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't have it. Sean, you at least have a daughter. Go put on like a princess dress.
Johnny made that mask.
Listen, I made this mask for my son. It cost me a crap ton of time and money.
Now, if people
He's
want to
pretty
know on those
fat there.
calls, right? On all those calls that we have that we're talking, setting up all that stuff up. That's what happens at the end of these calls. 10 minutes of it is like straight business, and then randomly Donnie puts it on and explains to us an hour and how long it took him for him to make this when we've all been drinking for 4 hours.
Yes.
That's really what happens on those calls.
Well, it's like you said, we can have our talk with these guys, and it's that hour afterwards that's even more gold than what the actual show was.
Yes.
That's when we get all the best stories after the interview, for sure.
The big thing with league nights is if you're going to go to a league night and you take it way too serious, why are you here?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. It's
A league night is a way to practice I play in a league every Wednesday night. It's $10. Can it be frustrating? Yes. It can be frustrating based on the partner you get. But I take that as time to work on my shots, try different bags, and try to like work on different things. Like if you're like $10 is way too much, why did you show up?
Yeah.
Don't come.
Never show up to a league expecting to win money.
Yeah, don't, because the game, honestly, I hate the term growing the game.
We know. That's why we use it all the time.
Oh, despise it. despise it to the.
We need to come up with a new
degree.
term for you.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
But we're not going to grow this game unless we bring more people in.
We're spreading our seed.
But 80% of this game is backyard players. It really is. It's people that don't come to the tournaments, only play in charity ones, and then some people poach those charity tournaments to win what? 60, 80 bucks?
Yeah.
But you're scaring those people away from coming in, like doing better, bigger and better things in this game.
So,
like Sean said there, like we've got, and again, he'll know who he is when I start talking to him. We got one guy who will go out those 4 nights and play, and he wants to win every one. Like he'll drive 45 minutes away, spending 20, 30 bucks in gas, paying 10 bucks to get in the tournament, and he wins 40. Okay, so you've now broke even for the night, and just because you wanted to win a tournament or a league night, and it's like, let the new, especially a new. It was one league that had just started up, so they had out of their 35 people that were there only been like 6 or 7 that had played before. So you've now just beat up on a bunch of people who've never played before. They may not come back because they're losing 21-0. It's like, what fun is that, right?
Correct.
So,
hey, Brendan. So you guys have the Doghouse and stuff, right? And you guys are pretty obviously close knit group of guys. Do you guys get newer players?
Yeah. So what'll happen is that it's funny because
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you guys would be an intimidating kind of bunch of people to come walking in. Because
I'll say this, right?
We've been playing together for a while. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the bigger thing, right? Is that here's the actual problem we have is that, and Donnie can attest to this. My SPR, we do Scoreholio, right? My SPR is pretty bad because we have 5 guys who are above me that are literally 5 of the best guys in the state, right?
Yeah.
So they're all nice guys, most of them. But part of the problem we have is that people come in and as nice as they are, it's hard to feel like I have a shot when we have kind of a close-knit group of guys too. So we try to go out of our way if somebody does show up. Be like, hey, listen, I was you 2 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's funny. It just with us, it becomes the people that are just obsessed that stay. They're just the pain of losing is less than the pain of not getting better. Do you know what I mean? It's just I don't care, and you see it happening, and then all of a sudden they start getting better. And if you Pat McCracken always says iron sharpens iron, right? It's we have so many good players. That's I used to beat Pat McCracken who plays all the time to crush him. Now I can't win a game against him, right? But that doesn't stop me from wanting to play him all the time. Do you know what I mean? So I think that it can be an intimidating thing. So it's we try to be I mean, if you're a loser, we don't want you to stay. So we just kind of don't talk to you. But
hey, you guys got to be careful, okay? All right, one of your sponsors is watching, so you have to just be careful what you're saying.
Well, no, but I can tell you right now.
What did I say?
I can tell you,
Mr. Cook,
literally,
the giant teddy bear himself is watching right now.
But I was one of those guys that walked into the Doghouse. I'm not a great player. I'm good. I'm decent, depending on the night, depending on the amount of libation that I consume. But it is a welcoming crowd, and it's a bunch of people that just want to play the game and just have fun. And there's other clubs out there that some of the people there are not as nice, not as you don't want to hang.
Yeah, I'll say this about the group of guys we have. We my favorite part is getting there. I set up. We have a beer at the bar, and unfortunately, we're probably losing the place. There's a developer that has bought it. Is going to, but now again, this economy might save the Doghouse for a while. But afterwards, it's nobody wants to leave. We're just almost we're all kind of banged up and just it's just a very fun environment. Nobody gets, of course you get your thing was let's play a side game and it's 2 of the best teams. Right? But for the most part, it's I'll lose with you. I don't I will go down with you in a trench, knowing that we're going to lose this game for $10 each. And I think we all do that because like you want to take that player and be like, hey, I remember when somebody else was like, you got some game, like, and that lifts your whole confidence up. You know what I mean? So we got a young kid that just started playing with us, this kid Matt Lyden, may or may not be watching this, but like, we saw this kid, we met him, we brought him in, McCracken gave him a hat, and it's like, now we can't get rid of this kid. He's throwing out back with his parents' house, videotaping it, tagging everybody, like he just has that, like, he just likes it, he can't stop. It's like I don't know, it's like when you're at a Nintendo when you're a kid, you just can't stop playing Contra constantly. That's what it's like.
So I mean, Dane and I have kind of taken on that role at our league too, though. Yeah, I mean, we're the guys that people come up to now and are like, hey, you know, like, I'm looking for a new bag, or, you know, I'm just getting into this. Like, what should we try? So, I mean, so many people helped us out, and we've talked about that before when we were first getting into it. So we're trying to pay it back, I guess, in a way.
So, speaking of sponsors, and knowing that I have something starting tomorrow, and the Brews and Reviews have done such a great job when they did their review of the Octane bags.
Never heard of it.
If you like and if you subscribe and you like to the page there, the channel, we are starting tomorrow. We're going to go 1 week. Any subscribers to the channel will get a chance to win 4 Octane bags. We're going to weigh 2 sets of 4 Octane bags. So just subscribing to the channel and having a public subscription, so I can see that you've subscribed. You get a chance at 4 Octane bags of your choice, either the Nitro, the Whole Shots, the Clutch, or the Apex bag.
So I already won.
If you try, yeah, sure. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's plugging those sponsors.
Well, I think everybody on this podcast right now, like literally when we talk about this question, we're all brand ambassadors for like the game, right? For playing, and it's not about our brand, it's more about the game itself, right? Like
yes, absolutely.
Doghouse, Dogcast, Big Ass, Cleveland Cornhole, it's not about that. It's about bringing more people into the game, and that's really where it like becomes, you know, bigger than all of us.
It's not growing it though. It's just bringing them in.
It's just
bringing them in because we're not growing the game. I hate that.
I call it getting people addicted, because once they start playing, they become addicted, right? And that's where I can, with some of our better players, and we have in our league, I get frustrated with them because they'll go and they'll be happy destroying that new player that comes in, you know, 21-0, and it's like, you know, we want to have these people want to come back. So we'd had a kind of a tournament that was a side tournament. It wasn't really involved with us, but there was a couple that came out playing, and I kind of recognized them from before, but they weren't good, but they were what they wanted to go and play. And we had a couple of our better players start playing with the opposite hand, right? And they were kind of, and some other guys trying to make a joke of it, and I was like, you can see that these other people were getting frustrated, still losing 21-0 to them. And they ended up walking out, just walking away. They still could have played for a smaller prize, but they walked away because it was like they're being made fun of. And it's like, you gotta let those people in and just come and have fun.
Here's the thing. It takes 2 seconds to say to somebody, like, listen, I remember the first time I walked in to, like, by myself to a blind draw. I was like, what am I really doing this right now? Like, the hell am I doing? Like, I don't know anybody here, you know? And all it takes is somebody to come over and be like, hey, I'm Brennan. You know what I mean? Like, this is a good group of guys. And, you know, like, I mean, yeah. So, like, as long as you just need somebody as your anchor that's like, oh, I know Sean's a good guy. You know what I mean? I know you can talk to Sean when you go there and, like, whatever.
Who?
And, like, you know, people will surprise you. Like, we have a guy that plays with us, right? This guy, Tom Holler, and he's the best guy who plays the Doghouse. He's, like, lights out, probably right around 100 deck around guy, right? And when we first went together to this place, we showed up at the same time, first blind draws together. I was, like, by far the better player. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even a question. And then, like, I remember, like, he asked me to play in an event, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of better than you, you know? But I was like, oh, I'll play with you, you know? Like, but like, I was kind of joking, you know? And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, like, he just leapfrogged me by, like, 10 levels, right? So, like, my point is that, like, everybody in relative point is a shit player to somebody else, right? Yep. Like, that guy might look at, I don't know, I'm just using Jay Corley because we talked about him earlier, and be like, all right, yeah, I mean, he would never do that. But what I'm saying is that like that level might be like for him what me and that other guy is, whereas that other guy is 10 levels below. He might surprise you in a year. He might be the best player there. So I think that's good to remember. I think that like being able to just be friendly to somebody is just an unbelievable, just an unbelievable asset for them, and will get you good karma on the way back. I think,
For sure.
We've got a guy, Jamie Cowan. He played against. He was in that match against Hisner and Henderson at the WCO Invitational there last year. And if you when you come out to a league night and you talk to him, you would have no idea that he had that one shot on. Well, I guess you have to play 2 games on ESPN, hitting a winning shot against the Team Australia. But he goes and he'll see a new person come out, and he is on them right away, saying, "Here's how you can grow the game. Here's how you can throw better. You don't like the way you're throwing. Try this, try that, try." And he'll always gravitate to that new player and help them out. And it's like after you go and talk to him, it's like, yeah, he's played on ESPN a couple times, but you would never know it because he wants to help people and help them get addicted. Donnie is a better word.
Well, also addicted is bad.
But we find ourselves having to do that a lot at regionals here. You know what I mean? Because like
all the
here,
time.
we sell out so fast, and in our leagues, they do such a good job of separating everybody like based off their skill level, right? But at the regionals, it was the same thing with us. First time we went to regional, we show up thinking we'll play in competitive, we're gonna run through this, and maybe we'll stay and show these guys how to play in advanced. Well, we went 0-2 very quickly, got our asses kicked. So we decided to stay. Hey, maybe we should try out this backyard thing. So we ended up playing that. But anytime we see newer guys that we don't recognize and we're warming up, you have the deer in the headlights kind of look, right? You're looking around like, where do I warm up? We'll try to grab them. You know what I mean? We'll bring them over, let them warm up, things like that. I mean, to me, that goes a long way.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if we lost Dane or not, but another question I want to ask you guys, because I had this happen to me at our last conference tournament here. But have you guys, and Dane's back. Have you guys, had anyone come up and recognize you guys from the podcast? Because I know at our last conference, I was just warming up, and I've had a couple of people go up and say, "Hey, Corn Dog," and I was like, "Who are you?" And they're like, "Oh, well,
it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to spot us.
Well, it was kind of
walking around wearing this. It's easy to spot us.
Yeah, it's almost like we talked before about the pros with that branding.
I mean, probably you guys more so than us.
Not really. I mean, I'm not like a very people don't recognize his face really. Like I'm like but Donnie probably more than anybody. To be honest with you.
I mean, for sure.
I'm kind of an introvert, so
yes, you are. No one can recognize you now, Donnie.
I will say people may recognize Brendan now after his Friday night shows.
Yes.
Probably more than music.
So I had a lot more people recognize me after a friend of ours, Brian Fletcher, made stickers of my face. And I distributed them all over the Northeast.
Miller Lite.
Yes, Miller Lite. That's a hard word. Distributed.
By the way, nobody loves Donnie more than Donnie loves Donnie. That's
Dude, listen, there's one person I really, really love in this world, and it's me.
I just call that shameless self-promotion.
Hope your wife's not listening.
So the funny thing is, my wife made me for Christmas a hoodie with my logo on it, with my face, and it said The Voice. Second place is always up for grabs underneath it. So she literally took my logo and made me a hoodie that I will wear to events.
Yes, by the way, on to the thing about the Friday night concerts. I've got a lot of comments being like, you don't strike me as the type of person that would play music, which apparently means I'm just like a dick or something, because I don't know what that means. That means I'm not a loser or a musician or something. But there have been people that come up and that they like the podcast, and that's really cool. You know what I mean? Like, we had a bunch of people in Cleveland, obviously, that we kind of already knew virtually. There you go, Donnie.
Donnie, I want one of those.
Can't let that spotlight go.
Got an open spot right here for it.
But like Josh Zeller, right? And Jake Child, some people we knew like virtually but didn't know in person. That was awesome to actually kind of meet them, press the flesh, even though we probably shouldn't have been with the whole coronavirus, whatever. And hang out with them. Like that was actually really cool. So
honestly, Brennan, that night we were all safe. It was your sensual hugs that you kept giving everyone. You're the one throwing the coronavirus everywhere. I don't know why you felt the need to grab a little butt every time you hug someone, but hey, you each their own.
Hey,
listen, I'm going to say for myself, for Cleveland, when I talked to my wife, I was like, I got to go because I didn't want to go to play. I was just wanting to go to meet people, talk to more people, because it was like, like I said, like I haven't been down to a big event since 2018. So there's been people that I haven't seen since then that I want to see again and just kind of hang out with, It's because you got guys like Rob Chismark that'll just make me laugh all the time because he doesn't stop talking, right? Or some of the other guys that I've known, like seeing Pitcher again, seeing some of the other guys that are just great guys to talk to.
So here's what I propose. Just like in hockey, a Can-Am tournament.
I would be up for it, and actually. We had talked about it actually on the Octane show, on the after show. We talked about if you guys want, we are putting together a hockey team to play in a hockey tournament up here. If you guys would be interested.
Donnie plays goalie.
Coach?
I played goalie
of NHL. Like,
well, no, my 240 pounds is the goalie. that's because really skating sucks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna skate.
I have to be the goalie.
If we're gonna do something like cornhole, sure.
Yeah, because that means it's like the coach.
Rugby,
the greatest goalie ever.
Play some rugby.
Patrick Waugh.
No, I think the greatest goalie ever was Julie the Cat Gaffney from Mighty Ducks 2.
No, Patrick Waugh from the most winningest team.
Let's see if Patrick Waugh can stop the triple D.
Are you allowed to say that, Donnie, being from the Mass area?
I grew up a mile from the Garden, but I am a Canadiens fan. Yes.
You're like people from Cleveland that are like Steelers fan. Okay,
what the hell is that?
Listen.
Trash.
There was an amazing person that played on the Canadiens, number 35.
Last name McPhee?
Mike McPhee.
Yep, I knew it.
He had a very not storied career, I'm guessing.
Hey, no, it was an amazing career. He's got a lot of cups. More cups than all of us on this podcast.
Yeah. I see at least 3 cups here now. He's only got 1, I think. And I see people drinking out of 3 cups here.
A lot of cups. Got to keep drinking. Got to stay hydrated.
Hey, Doug, you know who you got to have on this, though? You got to have, because he's texting me and rousing me right now. You got to have the Jersey guy.
Is he feeling left out?
Who?
Jersey guy's not feeling left out. He's just feeling like he told me I keep talking all the time.
The Brews and Reviews guy? Really? Don't fare.
If he wants to come on, I am more than happy to have Mr. Cook on.
He would love to come on. I'm gonna speak for him. He would love to come on. By the way, as we're talking about this, our sponsor, the Jersey Guy, JerseyGuyLocker.com. You can get your own Doghouse jersey. Once this COVID ban is lifted, the Dane Asp and Sean Asp Doghouse jerseys will be coming at them. And also West Georgia Cornhole and Donnie?
RJ Karam Construction and Landscaping.
You can only get it done if you're up here, but hey, they do your work for you.
Wow, that's why they're pros.
That's the best. That's the best read we've ever done, and we've never done one.
Dave, can you stand up for me and spin so I can see?
Listen, we don't practice this shit. We just throw it out.
We
there.
can.
Okay, so
is that there?
No, I can't see it. You need to smooth it out. No, the other way.
Wow, Cook's getting a little feisty on this little chat I have on the side of me.
We're sponsored by Cornhole Addicts, where you can feed your addiction at cornholeaddicts.com. And then, Dean, you need to turn a little bit.
PJ McIntyre's. I don't have to turn. I can hear you.
There we go.
Talk to you just now.
Well, I'm saying so the people can see the logo, you ass.
It's an Irish bar here in Cleveland.
When I'm smashing
Johnny-
Guinness at PJ McIntyre's, I'll tell you what, and eating I'm definitely getting like a shepherd's pie there.
Some haggis.
Listen, when
shepherd's
you
pie
guys
is
when
good.
you guys come back to
Haggis
Cleveland,
is
we go there.
Scottish.
We're
Come on
gonna
now.
have the whole thing. I'm gonna talk to Pat. We're gonna have Irish dancers there. We're gonna have the whole entertainment. We're gonna have a full band. Like it's gonna. It's just.
I need bagpipes.
Yeah, my best friend
All right.
in high school plays bagpipes. Done.
You get what you get.
John,
You don't get upset.
So I'm saying that we've gone like an hour and 20 minutes here. So we'll go another 10 here.
We go all night.
Hopefully, my phone will last. I'm just
Okay.
if it cut out, it died.
Yeah.
I got 10 more minutes.
amateur hour over here. Charge your phone before an interview.
Yeah.
So,
I know
so
I
Donnie,
did.
we've got in the chat we've got a Ronnie effing Hextall.
What? No. Hextall sucks. Come on.
You know what? I had a friend who did play in the NHL, and Hextall was not the most liked person in the world from by his teammates.
Listen, I see a comment here. Introvert Mohawk. Yes, I'm an introvert. I don't like to talk about me. Let's talk about me.
But
Nobody enjoyed that joke more than you, Donnie.
Yeah, I was
Always
kind of
fun.
giving him like a sympathy chuckle.
Yeah.
That's all right. I love you anyway.
He's probably
so.
used to those.
That's why nobody likes you.
so I am
Because they
going to
love
say,
me,
with
Donnie.
saying that we only got
Because they love me.
another 10 minutes. I do want to do this again because I got to talk to my cousin Ben here, who's helping with the chat. I had a whole bunch of lists of what we want to talk about, and we haven't even got. I think we've made like 2 off that list.
That
All right,
happens
give me one
usually how it
more.
goes.
Give me one more.
I was just because we started talking with the podcast, and I just wanted to start then talking just about cornhole, your thoughts on where we're going, and from where we're at. But it's just, it's because I said, I have no idea where this show is going to go because we're just here to have fun. But where do you see cornhole going from here?
Go ahead, Sean.
Man, I think 5 years from now, I don't think it's out of the question. Again, we talked about this on an episode of the Big Ass Cornhole podcast. I don't think it's out of the question within like 5 years from now if it's like cornhole players could be
Self-sustaining.
Okay. So I don't think it's out of the question if
John, I'll take over for you.
John's in trouble.
I think he's trying to say it's not out of the question that in 5 years, cornhole players can sustain their own lives.
Yes.
Just playing cornhole.
Yes.
sorry,
And like obviously we're gonna keep. It's all right. I finished it up for you, buddy. But no, I mean I think growing the game. I know Donnie, you love that phrase. But I think I think trying to fertilize the game. There you go. In a better, broader spectrum. I mean, we got to start hitting all these other countries out there. I was just in that Cornhole Europa, and we had only 6 countries represented, but there's a lot more out there. We need to get them involved.
Yeah, I think that, in my opinion, where it will go in 5 years was I'll still be in my backyard ignoring my neighbors. So, big crushing beers, late night conversations. I think honestly, like in a way, for whatever reason, I don't care. Obviously, I'd like to see it grow, but in a way, like I don't care if it does. Like I just like it. So I think about it like playing the guitar, right? It's like I like doing that, so I don't care if somebody's like, "Where's guitar going to be in 10 years?" I'd be like, "Oh, I don't know, my hands, I guess." So I, in a way, I think that like, and I'm not trying to be wise, but I think that like if it ends up doing those things, great. If it doesn't, for me, it doesn't change my enjoyment of it. So I think that like the more people that get into it, that's great. But I don't think we have to force this legitimacy. I think that like, in my opinion, part of what makes it awesome is that it is like a barbecue game that people can play and that some people can get addicted to it and play like, be like, my bag flight isn't flat enough. But like some people could just play it and have fun. And the more you try to pressure it, I feel like sometimes diminishing results sometimes, but like, so I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I think that like in general, as long as we keep drinking beers and throwing bags, I'm going to be perfectly fine with wherever it goes.
Well, and I think that's a big point too, right? When you start to look at this game, my problem is I hope it doesn't become the WWE, right? Where one organization gobbles up everybody else and turns it into an entertainment type piece, right? Let's keep it what it is. Let's keep it in the root of a backyard game, a game we can all play together. We can have fun. It can be competitive, or it can just be, you know what? Let's crush a million beers and just have fun. Like we're throwing beanbags, people.
Yeah.
It's beanbags. That's what it really is. We're throwing beanbags at a 2x4 plywood board, and we're having fun. Listen, and there's going to be people that are going to take it way more serious than others. I'm probably never going to be that guy because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I'm
Donnie,
a
I want to
Mohawk
play
right now.
devil's advocate with you.
What's that?
So you're talking about the WWE. I just want to paint a scene for you real quick. I'd imagine a stage coming up for a final game. You got pyrotechnics blaring. You got AC/DC over the loudspeaker. And then out walks Christine Papke, ready to throw some bags. You wouldn't be pumped up for that?
Dude, I would totally be. Listen, I will play you in a steel cage, riding the Harley down the ramp with a million different pyrotechnics, and I will take you and slam you through the boards after I beat you 21-0.
I'm going to see it happen.
No,
I'll tell you right now.
If you can lift me, I'd be impressed.
I would rather fight anybody on this thread before I fight Dane. Dane's like the guy, like he just walks quietly, carries a big stick. He just comes over the top with just a big fat beef stick of a hand, like just done.
No, B, we're going to be TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs. We're pulling shit out from under the ring, and we're going to hit him with like a friggin' like bat from, what's that friggin' show, the zombie show with barbed wire around it.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, talking about Negan over there.
No, I'm gonna say that watching it in the chat, there's Ben Tom who said they heard that Dane talking in a Peter Griffin voice, like we're throwing beanbags here. But then he also asked if we can gamble on whatever match that he's talking about. But that is coming from what Trey Ryder said. The gambling is coming. But like you said, with cornhole is I got my roots knowing the game on the infield of Charlotte Motor Speedway. My cousin and I we joke about it that we were introduced to cornhole and moonshine on the same night, and it's been fun since, you know, that's 2011. And I know one of my best weekends playing cornhole is from the infield of Charlotte, because we're going there's like 400 campsites on the infield, and there's probably about 300 cornhole boards, and you're playing till 4 a.m. and then waking up at 7 and starting it all over again. So it's that backyard fun game that people, like you said, sometimes take too seriously.
But it's
I mean it's just a lot of fun. Like that's how did you forget about going to your first blind draw? How'd you find it? Somebody had it at the beach or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hand-eye coordination. Like I have some of this, you know what I mean? I don't have any speed, but I do have like hand-eye coordination, you know? So you stick with that, you know? So yeah, I hope more people just find it fun. That's probably what I would say, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing. And that's what our job is. Everybody on this call, everybody listening today, is to bring those people in, you know? Let's make them feel welcome.
The world.
We are the children.
Come on, Don. Get off your
just
one.
getting those new people when you bring them in saying, come and play cornhole. I know, because I know with my partner, I know, like I said, I'd playing it for like 7-8 years before we started playing up here. And I was like, okay, we got a cornhole tournament coming up, and I want you to be my partner. And he's like, what? You want me to be what? You want a partner for cornhole? Like, what are you talking about? And now, like I said, he's now one of the best players that we have around here, because he just comes out and he has fun. He doesn't care if he wins or loses. And that almost pisses some of the other guys off more, that he doesn't care and he's still beating them all the time.
Here's my job. My job in the next 2 years is to make Trey Birchfield my partner, so that I can get a big ass woo out of him.
You're gonna make Mohawks great again.
Me and Trey Birchfield wooing all over the place. We're coming out with robes, pyrotechnics, and entrance music.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. He's gonna get the points. You're gonna get all the speaking part of it. I think.
It's gonna
That's fine.
happen.
You need someone for the interviews, right?
Right. By the way, you could use a little coaching on some of these interviews at the posts, like winner's circle, ACL stuff. Like,
Correct.
I mean, it's like, how'd it go? It's like, I try to throw into the hole.
I threw 4 bags.
Like,
Well, maybe that's our purpose here, is to get those people ready for when they're talking.
dude,
I'm in, Trey. Call me.
Sean charges $4 an hour to give you a prep for.
Pretty cheap.
You are a cheap date. You're a cheap date. You're a cheap date.
Damn.
Sean will have them pull out index cards and just read off of it.
So Doug, when can we do this again? We should do this like next month again.
Sure,
We're all gonna be stuck inside forever.
If you guys want to, I'm willing to make this a monthly. Every once a month, Wednesday night, we'll get together and just talk cornhole.
Meeting of the minds.
Let it
What do you
ride.
think?
I think because like I talked to Sean back when you were on my show first time. It was like, this is what we need, is just everyone to get together and just, because we're not in competition, we're all here for the same reason, all having fun.
I agree.
Make cornhole fun again.
That's right.
Exactly.
It's a good thing
Doug,
it's not a competition. Because
Doug, I'm going to PM you about a show that doesn't involve them, okay?
Sure.
Just kidding. I think get the one. And by the way, you really should get like Jersey guy, get Chris Cook on here with Corona. That would be awesome. They're a lot of fun. And you know, another thing is too to get like you know, any of the the Cornhole Addicts guy, David Bate, or like, you know, maybe you had him, but also like Brandon down at West Georgia, I bet would do it. I don't know if you ever talked to him. They're making actually they're making the masks there, right, Donnie?
Yeah.
For
They're making the shields, and they're making the holders for the masks in the back.
yeah. So
Yeah,
by the
saw
way,
that today.
I think everybody who's making those masks and those things are also getting paid for those, right? They're not like just doing it just to do it, right?
Some are, some aren't.
I have
It
no
depends
idea.
on the company.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Oh,
I hope they're getting paid.
Canada.
So
Hey,
then
my
with that,
phone's about
I
to
also
die, so
I also want to
say
thank
thank
Dane
you.
for giving me a question that I will ask Christine Papke for my show on Friday that I'm having. Is will she come out to all that music and pyrotechnics on?
Oh yeah, she's a rocker through and through, brother.
So
yeah, and she could. I mean, let me ask you this: like, I mean, she could light up anybody on this right here, right? Obviously,
sure.
like,
Oh yeah.
All
I-
The
5
highlight
of
of
us.
my
I don't even want to
my
speak to her.
cornhole career was putting 14 points up on her. Then she blanked me the rest of the tournament.
I'm willing just to watch this fight.
but, all right. Last thing I want to say before we finish this thing, because me and Sean talked about this, and then I think I heard maybe you talked about it on your podcast. My mind is mush at this point, but this whole Matt Guy thing where it's like Monday night, I'm just going to throw against Ghost 11 and for 47 out of 48 bags in the hole. Like, do me a favor. That's like somebody be like, hey, have you seen my wife, Christy Brinkley? Like, you'll never have that. Ever. Like, your life is going to be miserable, and then I'm going to have this, like, supermodel. Like, that's, like, so I think to myself, I'm like, God, that amazing ability to throw that many bags, like, it's fascinating to me. Like, fascinating. Like, how many times have you thrown, like, Sean, you threw 3 4-baggers on me the other day, back to back to back, you son of a gun. But I'm going to say this, how many times have you realistically thrown, like, 4 4-baggers in a row, right? Like,
I can probably count on one hand.
I can count on one finger, maybe even half a finger.
so to just
I
be
don't know
like,
if I've
oh,
ever done
Monday
it.
night, just pull in the garage, just, like, let it rip. You know what I mean? And just dropping, like, back. I don't know. I think it's honestly, like, that's the reason when you look at Matt Guy's, like, Sunday night feed when he does that, and it's like guys like Jamie Graham are like, hey, what's up? Like, everybody's a fanboy. There's no, like, it's the GOAT. It is what it is, you know?
Although I will say one thing, you are a better singer than Matt Guy.
That's true. I
I'm
am.
not sure if you
Whoa, wait a minute.
Sunday night thing.
He's still my hero.
It is true. I'm going to say this, though, right now. I don't know if I'm as passionate as he is. That karaoke performance was unbridled, is how I would describe it. It was there was no saddle. He was riding just, it was free riding.
He was
I
doing
know. again, it was my wife saying, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "I'm watching the best cornhole player sing."
I'm watching the best cornhole player ever do something horribly wrong.
Correct.
I hope he's not watching this. He'll hate me.
So again, I want to thank you guys for doing this here. I think this is a monthly thing. I think just coming on and just talking because, like I said, I had a list of stuff, and we've taken off like 2 of the 10 that I thought of talking about. So
we like to talk.
Again, just thank you guys for doing this.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
The next time I'm going to schedule my son's Xbox hours at different times, so I don't have to. I get the old bunk bed. I'll probably sleeping in this thing with him tonight, probably. So
There you go.
Is what it is,
Yep.
I'm still hiding in the basement. My wife hates me.
Tough times, buddy. Tough people.
I want to thank everyone for watching, and remember, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button just down below, and you get that chance to win some Octane cornhole bags. Giving away 2 sets of 4, and it'll be your choice. And we may even custom for you if you want that too. So again, thank you to the Doghouse guys, to the Big Ass guys, and we'll see you guys. You guys can check out the show Friday. Got Christine Papke coming on. Next week's live show, I'll say it now. We got Timothy Pitcher coming on to talk live, take questions, and have some fun with him. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch you Friday.
All right, boys. Peace.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Thanks, guys.